Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to Subthesis. This is the platform I personally use for my research workflow. It is an all-in-one research platform with 57 specialized tools for things like literature review, data analysis, and manuscript preparation. The best part is it is completely free. You do not even need an account to get started. Just head over to www.subthesis.com. And if you are getting value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep making content like this for you. Alright, let us jump in. Welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is on the minds of graduate students, postdocs, and really anyone in academia right now. The doctoral job market in 2026 and how artificial intelligence is changing everything about it. Whether you are finishing your dissertation, starting a postdoc, or mentoring students, this is a conversation you need to be part of. Let us dig into the data. Let me start with a structural reality that has been building for decades. Every year, the United States produces over 35,000 doctoral graduates in science, technology, engineering, and math fields alone. But the academic system only adds about 3,000 new faculty positions annually. Think about that ratio for a moment. Less than 20% of all doctoral graduates ever become tenured professors. And the National Science Foundation tells us that only 3.5% are in a tenure-track position within 3 years of graduating. Now here's the twist. Despite all of this, the unemployment rate for doctoral holders is just 1.2%, which is less than half the national average. So the jobs are there. They are just not where most doctoral students expect them to be. Let us examine how career paths for Doctor of Philosophy graduates have changed. We call this the Great Shift. In 1997, academia was the main employer, hiring 54% of graduates, while industry hired 43%. A tenure-track position was the default path. The degree was a direct pipeline to becoming a university professor. Now look at 2026. The landscape is completely different. Industry has reached 42%, nearly tying with academia at 43%. Academia is barely holding the lead today. Looking at specific fields, the changes are dramatic. In life sciences, tenure-track roles are down 10 points. For engineering, Doctor of Philosophy graduates overwhelmingly choose to work in industry instead of universities. The traditional academic pipeline is no longer the only expected route. We are seeing that artificial intelligence is actively eroding the bottom rungs of the career ladder. This is a massive shift for those just entering the workforce. Looking at recent data from the United Kingdom, tech graduate roles plummeted by 46% in the year 2024. Nearly half of those starting opportunities vanished in a single year. Research from Harvard confirms this trend is widespread. They found that junior positions are shrinking significantly at firms that actively adopt artificial intelligence. Stanford researchers found similar alarming numbers. They noted a 13% decline in employment specifically for young workers aged 22 to 25. The fundamental reason for this is that artificial intelligence now automates the exact tasks that historically trained our new hires. The routine work used to teach beginners is now done by software. As a direct result, the graduating class of 2025 faces the toughest job market seen since 2018. The entry level is vanishing. Let us examine the data behind this trend. This chart comes directly from research published by the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas in January 2026, utilizing data from the current population survey. It perfectly illustrates how artificial intelligence is already reshaping the entry-level employment landscape for young adults aged 20 to 24. Look at the two trend lines. The top line represents the employment share of young workers in roles highly exposed to artificial intelligence. According to the researchers, these include administrative assistants, customer service representatives, and entry-level office supervisors. Back in November 2022, right around the time generative artificial intelligence became mainstream, 16.4% of young workers were employed in these high-exposure roles. By September 2025, that share had steadily dropped to 15.5%. Conversely, the bottom line shows employment in low-exposure roles. These are jobs like manual labor, building maintenance, and freight moving. For those physical jobs, the employment share actually ticked up slightly from 14.2% to 14.5% over the exact same period. What the Dallas Federal Reserve researchers discovered beneath these numbers is crucial. This drop in high-exposure jobs is not primarily caused by young workers getting laid off. Instead, it is a hiring problem. Companies are simply bringing in fewer young people directly out of school or from outside the labor force to fill these entry-level office jobs. The traditional stepping stone roles are quietly closing their doors to new entrants because artificial intelligence software can now handle those beginner tasks. While the overall economic impact might seem small today because young workers make up a smaller portion of the total labor force, for recent graduating classes, the loss of these foundational career opportunities is a significant and immediate challenge. We are witnessing the lowest rungs of the corporate ladder being pulled up just as this generation reaches for them. Transitioning to the other side of this workforce equation. While routine entry-level jobs are shrinking, the demand for specialized artificial intelligence skills is experiencing an absolute boom. According to recent data from the Indeed Hiring Lab, job postings that specifically mention artificial intelligence have surged by more than 130% since pre-pandemic levels. We are also seeing global artificial intelligence-related hiring grow by over 300% over the past 8 years. What exactly is driving this massive spike in demand? A recent report by McKinsey found that nearly 90% of organizations now regularly use artificial intelligence in their daily operations. Furthermore, the Microsoft and LinkedIn Work Trend Index revealed that 75% of global knowledge workers are already using these tools to manage their workloads. The workforce is adopting this technology at a staggering pace. However, there is a massive catch. While 90% of companies use the technology, a study by Gartner reveals that only 9% of organizations have actually reached true artificial intelligence maturity. This means only a tiny fraction of companies have successfully embedded these systems into their core operations with proper governance and strategy. This massive gap between basic usage and true maturity is exactly where the opportunity lies. Companies are desperate for talent that can bridge this divide, and they are willing to pay for it. The PricewaterhouseCoopers Global Artificial Intelligence Jobs Barometer notes that industries highly exposed to artificial intelligence are experiencing nearly 4 times higher productivity growth compared to less exposed sectors. Specifically, productivity growth in these sectors jumped from 7% to 27%. The organizations and individuals who master these skills are not just keeping up, they are pulling away from the competition entirely. Let's transition to the specific career paths where doctor of philosophy graduates are finding massive success. As the demand for artificial intelligence expertise surges, companies need deep analytical thinkers to tackle complex, unstructured problems. Looking at the top left of the slide, the artificial intelligence research scientist is the most direct pivot from academia. These professionals push the boundaries of technology by developing innovative algorithms in machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. The opportunities also extend far beyond pure technical research. Notice the roles focused on governance. The artificial intelligence ethics officer and the data ethicist are becoming absolutely critical. As global regulations like the Artificial Intelligence Act and the General Data Protection Regulation take effect, organizations are desperate for experts who can navigate fairness and ensure responsible deployment. Applying rigorous ethical analysis is essential for fostering responsible technology creation, making philosophy graduates a perfect fit to guide these processes. We are also seeing a rise in the machine learning interpretability engineer. As neural networks become more complex, these engineers have the vital job of making opaque models transparent for corporate decision makers. Finally, we have roles like the artificial intelligence product manager, who acts as the bridge between technical teams and business stakeholders. Ultimately, the deep critical thinking abilities honed during a doctoral program are exactly what the market demands right now. A fascinating paradox. We just discussed the massive surge in demand for artificial intelligence roles. You might assume pure technical ability is the only thing that matters now. However, when we look at what employers actually want in 2026, the reality is quite different. This chart highlights data from Korn Ferry surveying talent acquisition leaders. Surprisingly, artificial intelligence technical skills rank fifth on their priority list, prioritized by only 38% of leaders. What is number one? Critical thinking. A massive 73% of leaders want this above all else. This is followed by adaptability at 65%, leadership at 58%, and data fluency at 52%. Why are we seeing this? Because the technology is automating the routine technical tasks. Employers do not just need someone who can operate a tool. They desperately need people who know what questions to ask it. They need leaders who can adapt rapidly and apply rigorous critical thinking to ensure the outputs are strategically sound. This perfectly positions Doctor of Philosophy graduates. Your training taught you how to solve completely unprecedented problems. Those foundational human skills are exactly what the market pays a premium for today. Looking at the broader 2026 hiring landscape, we are still operating in a low hire and low fire environment that carried over from 2025. Overall, job postings remain flat or are actively declining across most sectors. However, pockets focused on artificial intelligence are showing strong growth despite this general stagnation. For the graduating class of 2026, employers project a meager hiring increase of just 1.6%. Furthermore, the way you get hired is changing drastically. 84% of talent leaders plan to use artificial intelligence in their recruiting. In fact, 87% of companies already use artificial intelligence somewhere in their recruitment process. Yet, there is a massive trust gap, as only 26% of applicants trust artificial intelligence to evaluate them fairly. Navigating this automated screening process will be essential for your upcoming job search. Starting with the advantages on the left, the data is highly encouraging. The unemployment rate for graduates is incredibly low at just 1.2%. You command significant wage premiums over other degrees. Your deep research skills map perfectly to the booming industry demand for machine learning and artificial intelligence roles. Furthermore, these corporate positions offer much greater job security compared to modern academia. However, we must acknowledge the significant challenges on the right. Traditional doctoral training often lacks practical industry preparation, making the transition quite rocky. Many experience culture shock when moving into corporate settings. Since only 12.8% can attain traditional faculty positions, pivoting is a necessity. Yet, a major hurdle remains, as over 40% of current doctoral curricula still lack dedicated artificial intelligence skill training. Now that we understand the challenges, how can you position yourself for success? Let us walk through 5 concrete strategies for Doctor of Philosophy job seekers. First, build artificial intelligence fluency. Do not abandon your domain expertise, but augment it by learning machine learning frameworks, mastering prompt engineering, and utilizing advanced data tools. Second, cultivate hybrid skills. Employers desperately seek candidates who combine technical depth with strong communication, clear leadership, and sharp business acumen. You must learn to translate complex research into tangible business value. Third, expand your network outside the university. Connect with the broader industry through local startups, corporate conferences, and professional networking platforms to build relationships before you actually need a job. Fourth, showcase applied work. Academic papers are not enough today. Build a visible portfolio of real-world projects. Create public code repositories and deployable prototypes that demonstrate you can build practical solutions. Finally, target growing sectors. Focus your search on fields experiencing massive investment, such as healthcare artificial intelligence, financial technology, cybersecurity, and sustainability technology. These steps will successfully transform you into a highly sought-after industry leader. Let us review the core takeaways from our discussion today. The traditional Doctor of Philosophy to Professor pipeline may be broken, but the fundamental value of the degree absolutely remains intact. Industry has stepped up and is now an equal employer of doctoral graduates right alongside traditional academia. We have seen how artificial intelligence is aggressively reshaping the workforce, specifically eroding those foundational entry-level roles. Yet, in this massive technological shift, employers explicitly value your human capabilities. Critical thinking consistently outranks pure artificial intelligence technical skills. The Doctor of Philosophy graduates who will truly thrive are those who can successfully combine their deep domain expertise with practical artificial intelligence fluency. Finally, remember that this landscape is moving incredibly fast. The window of maximum opportunity heavily favors those who take action and adapt early. Thank you for your time and consideration to watch this video. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Please consider visiting the website subthesis.com.